Ricky Rubio traded for a first round draft pick for next season, top 14 protected. Now, I must say, this trade is not good, but it's not bad either. Like, it can set something up for both teams. The Utah Jazz can at least have a point guard for the future if they were to lose George Hill. And the Timberwolves have a backup plan for the future for next year if they don't get a good point guard by next year. Now, the Timberwolves desperately need a center who can score the basketball at least 40% and doesn't cost them spacing and can also play defense. Alright? The Timberwolves, getting rid of Ricky Rubio was, I think, a decent move because Ricky Rubio, in today's basketball, you are not gonna survive with a point guard who shoots 37 to 38% from the field. And also, you're not gonna survive with a point guard that's gonna also cost you a lot of spacing. Look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. The Timberwolves have to get somebody that knows how to play basketball, and in what way? They need to find somebody who can at least score the basketball at least 40%. Okay, and also knows how to space the floor well enough so that their teammates can maneuver easier during games. All right. So I'm not sure if you can understand me about throughout all the mumbling and rambling and whatever the case may be. But the Timberwolves don't have, they only have 2 point guards right now, and none of these point guards are as good as Ricky Rubio could be, or could have been, or whatever the case may be. They have Tyus Jones. I hope that he improves. I hope that he becomes the point guard that this team desperately needs. And I really hope that this guy can pull it off. And also they have Michael Carter-Williams, which has turned out into a complete bust. When he was created, when he was with the 76ers, he did all right. But after that, he has fallen off a cliff. I don't know how in the world they have done it. Alright? It's kind of ridiculous at this point. Now we're going to go ahead and go into a gameplay. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be like mumbling and rambling and stuff. Let's just continue on to play the sport of basketball in NBA 2K. But at the very least, I can tell you right now that the Timberwolves have options at the point guard position. Either they sign somebody, either they sign a premier point guard or as premier as they can get for this offseason or just a free agency, or they wait it out until draft night and hope they get the draft pick. But remember, the draft pick is top 14 protected. So if if this trade were to go 14 or lower, or from first to 14th, this the draft pick I think would stay with Utah. I think that's the way it goes. If it falls outside of the top 14, however, it could fall into the Timberwolves' hands. Now at this point, they wouldn't get the best, premier potential point guard in the league, but they could find they could definitely find a potential sleeper. Now, but still, the Timberwolves have options. Maybe not the best options, but they certainly do have enough options out there. They have a potential big three. The Timberwolves have a potential big three with Karl Anthony Towns at the center position, Jimmy Butler, who could play the shooting guard, and Andrew Wiggins, who is a lethal scorer. So it's all about who they can get at the point guard position. That's mission number 2 in order to make the Timberwolves a lethal team in the Western Conference for the 2018 season. They won't survive with Tyus Jones, and they definitely won't survive with Michael Carter-Williams at the starting point guard position. Those two can serve they can serve coming off the bench. But the starting point guard, none of these two will survive for now. Maybe one of them will surprise us coming into next season, but I highly doubt it. So at the very least, get a point guard that can at least give you that spacing that you desperately need. Or a player that definitely knows how to do a lot of playmaking. Somebody can pass the ball whenever they need to pass the ball. Alright? A player that doesn't focus on stats, but focus on the well-being of the team. Alright? I might be saying things that don't exactly make sense, but hey, bear with me here. But the thing is, the Timberwolves have options. The Jazz have options. If George Hill were to leave Utah, Ricky Rubio could be their guy for the next few seasons. If we were to talk about George Hill staying in Utah, they could use either one of the point guards as trade bait, so they can get a better player in the future. I don't know. I'm guessing here. Or they can have George Hill being the starting point guard, and Ricky Rubio could do something coming off the bench. That is, if he were to be willing to have a small role in Utah for the benefit of the entire team as a whole. I'm not saying this is all gonna happen. I'm just saying that these are all possibilities, that Utah could have. Now, I'm not sure if George Hill will stay in Utah. If he does stay in Utah, it can be, they could, Utah could do something. They could have one of the two starting, the other one could come off the bench, and they would have not many weaknesses overall when it's time to put on the bench unit compared to most teams. If George Hill does leave, however, Ricky Rubio starts, and they're gonna have to find somebody else to get the job done. And I'm not sure how Ricky Rubio will work out in Utah. Let's just hope that he learns how to shoot properly at 40% consistently for the entire season. Alright? Because if he shoots below 40% for the season next season, he's gonna cost the Jazz a lot of spacing. And if you don't have spacing in the current NBA, you're gonna regret it for the entire season. So, if I were Ricky Rubio, I'd be practicing my shooting from three-point land, from every single area of that basketball court. Alright? Not that you gotta be a Stephen Curry in order to pull something off, but at the very least, learn to shoot at an above average rate. I'm not saying you gotta shoot about 5 threes a game to make sure that something happens. At the very least, learn how to shoot properly. Learn how to have good shot selections. Make sure that your team has enough spacing so nobody has to go whoever offense on set defender, and no double teams are created simply because you cannot shoot well. All right, because when a team has a shooter, or should I say, when a team has a player that cannot shoot well, when they shoot below 40%, and that same player is playing, it's at the 3-point line, they know they don't have to guard him. They just have to choose the closest possible player because they understand that the player that player who doesn't know how to shoot will not be much of a threat. They can just double team whoever is closest to them. Create some pressure. Be harder on on offense overall. So Ricky Rubio should definitely learn how to shoot the basketball at a moderate rate in order to avoid spacing problems in Utah. Now let's get into the gameplay just a little bit. There's not much time left on the clock. I've been mumbling and mumbling and rambling and rambling and I don't know what thing. Shout out to Joel Obel Ooze. What's up, man? He's saying that he's been sub for 2 months now. Thank you so much for the support. It definitely means a lot that you've given a lot of support throughout this entire time span. So yeah, keep up the support, and each and every one of each view is one more reason for me to keep grinding out on YouTube. English, oh boy, fast break for Witty. That's a foul and one, baby. Yeah. Oh boy. He's a free throw shooter. Oh man, no. Yeah. Get him. Heal. Okay. So that's the end of this live stream. I will make a lot of live stream having a channel update for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more videos. See you guys next time with another live stream. Peace.